As the members of the Dark Council left the room, Marr could only imagine how Darth Karrid would react when she heard the news. He decided it would be best if he told her himself. It took less than 20 minutes for Marr's private shuttle to whisk him away from the Citadel to the private landing pad at his personal stronghold on the outskirts of Koth City. An honor guard of half a dozen Imperial soldiers in full armor stood smartly at attention as he strode down the boarding ramp, and a pair of bowing servants dressed in his personal colors opened the massive doors leading from the landing pad to the interior chambers. Part domicile, part fortress, the stronghold's halls were busy with household staff and military personnel scurrying to and fro, each tending to their respective duties. They bowed or saluted appropriately as Marr passed, his long strides taking him directly to the communications room.
"Put me in contact with Darth Karrid,"
he told the officer in charge.
"At once, my lord,"
she told him, then barked out a quick series of orders to her 3-person staff. Marr would have preferred to deliver the details of the Dark Council's meeting to Karrid in person, but time was of the essence. He wanted to speak with her before she heard the whispers and rumors of what had happened, so he could mitigate her reaction.
"The Ascendant Spear has received our signal, Darth Marr,"
the officer confirmed.
"Decryption may take a few seconds."
Marr nodded, knowing there was no possible way any of the other members of the Council or anyone from the Republic could overhear what was about to be said. Even if they somehow intercepted the signal he was transmitting, it would be impossible to decode without a black cipher, the Empire's encryption device. Developed by Imperial intelligence before the organization collapsed, the black ciphers were the most advanced encryption machines ever devised. Apart from the ones installed on the Empire's 15 largest capital ships, including the Ascendant Spear, there were only 2 others, one in the office of the Imperial Minister of Logistics and one in Darth Marr's possession. The hollow image flickered and materialized before him as the cipher unscrambled the incoming return signal to reveal Darth Karrid. Her bright emerald skin and long black hair, some gathered in a topknot, some flowing down her back, were muted by the blue-tinged hollow signal. She had high, prominent cheekbones, a flawless complexion, and a sharp, well-proportioned nose and chin. But there was a vaguely disconcerting reptilian hint to her exotic features, particularly around her cold, dead eyes. And in Karrid's case, the exquisite symmetrical perfection, so common to her species, was marred by the prominent tattoos and cybernetic implants that completely covered the left side of her face.
"Darth Marr, I was expecting your call."
From the hollow, Marr recognized that she had relayed his incoming signal to the seclusion of her private command pod deep inside the Ascendant Spear. The complex network of biomechanical interfaces that allowed Karrid to become one with Darth Mekis's marvelous warship framed her image. Dozens of long, thin wires snaking out from the walls and ceiling and into the back of Karrid's neck and skull.
"Leave us,"
Marr commanded, and the communications officer and her staff vanished from the room.
"You spoke with the other members of the Dark Council?"
Karrid asked once they were alone.
"The ones that matter,"
Marr said.
"And what was their reaction?"
"They agreed that you are a strong candidate,"
Marr said, choosing his words carefully.
"But there are some who expressed concerns."
"Who?"
Karrid demanded, her face twisting in anger.
"Ravage? That old fool rigged this?"
"It doesn't matter. The Council must reach a consensus to bring in a new member."
"Is it because I am fallen?"
"There are other concerns. You were Malgus's apprentice for many years. His actions will always color your reputation."
"Malgus was a traitor!"
Karrid spat out, her bright green skin taking on a reddish hue, reflecting her heightened emotional state.
"But I have done more to support the Imperial war effort than anyone."
"Those of us who have dedicated our lives in the service of the Dark Council might disagree,"
Marr replied coldly.
"I meant no disrespect, Darth Marr."
Marr knew her reaction was instinctual. The Falleen had evolved overtly sensual mannerisms as a survival mechanism for the species. Marr was smart enough to recognize and dismiss the subtle feelings of arousal her voice triggered in him. But individuals of most humanoid species found it hard to resist the Falleen charms.
I have proven my loyalty to the Empire countless times. I did not think the Council would simply cast me aside.
You have not been cast aside. You are still a candidate, but there are others.
Who?
Marr hesitated, then decided she would eventually find out anyway.
Darth Gravis.
Gravis? So Mortis is behind this. He and Gravis are thick as thieves.
Mortis supports Gravis, but so do many other members of the Council. His work on Terra shows that he would do well in charge of the technology sphere.
The Empire claims to be a meritocracy. We punish failure and reward success. I have only victories to my name. But Gravis lost Lerator to the Republic. How can the Council prefer him over me?
Gravis is planning to recapture Lerator. But even if he succeeds, the decision is not final,
he added, hoping to mollify her.
You will both be considered for the position.
So there is still a chance,
Karrid replied, seizing on the thin strand of hope. She brought a delicate hand up to her lips as she contemplated the possibility of victory.
Assuming he can defeat the Republic fleet over Lerator, most of the Council will probably support Gravis,
Marr cautioned, not wanting her to get her hopes too high, only to have them dashed.
And what about you, Marr?
I would prefer the position go to you. In the long run, you can be of more value to the Empire than Gravis. But I will not risk tearing the Dark Council apart by challenging the others if they back him.
So you will not fight for me?
We must choose our battles wisely. Sometimes it is better to be patient.
I have been patient,
she answered, her expression a sensual pout.
There are other seats on the Council, other spheres of influence that need to be filled. Gravis may be the leading candidate, but you are next in line.
There was a long pause before Karrid nodded her acceptance.
I understand, Darth Marr. Even though we are allies, I cannot expect you to fight this battle on my behalf.
Marr felt a great sense of relief, though he was careful not to show his reaction. Part of him had feared Karrid might react with blind rage at being passed over. If she turned against the Empire, the Ascendant Spear would cripple the Imperial fleet, paving the way for a quick and certain Republic victory in the war.
Your time will come,
Marr assured her.
It is inevitable.
At least we agree on something,
she said with a smile.